Hello and welcome to the Week in Review. Here we bring you top stories of the week. I am Samuel Odi. Here are the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has begun a 10-day working vacation in Europe. The presidency announced this in a statement signed by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, who stated that the President is scheduled to spend the period between France and the United Kingdom before returning to Nigeria at the end of the break. The trip forms part of 2025 annual leave, with officials noting that he will combine rest with some official engagements while abroad. Still, President Tinubu has directed the compulsory implementation of health insurance across all ministries, departments and agencies in line with the National Health Insurance Authority Act 2022. A statement by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, says the President instructed the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to issue a service-wide circular mandating compliance. The directive covers 5 key areas, including compulsory enrollment of all ministries, departments and agencies, employees under the National Health Insurance Authority Health Plan. The President, Bola Tinubu, says education is the greatest weapon in fight against poverty, empowering individuals to overcome financial challenges and build a better future through the inclusiveness and equitable access. He made these remarks during the reception of the Song of Ogun Oba Gunde Afolabi Oladunyi III at the State House in Abuja. Uyi Abomofegbe completes the report.
President Bola Tinubu highlighted the importance of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, a groundbreaking initiative established under the Student Loans Act. The president emphasized that his administration is committed to investing resources to guarantee that every Nigerian child has access to quality education, regardless of socio-economic background. He further noted that the ongoing reforms would not only break the cycle of poverty, but also equip young Nigerians with the skills to drive national development and secure the country's future.
We've established NEL Fund for the students, that no one will be a dropout because of level of poverty. Everybody is entitled to education. Is the greatest weapon that you can give to human beings against poverty. That's what we've been doing. We are renewing aggressively our infrastructure, and it's just 2 years. I'm glad to report to you today that the economy is stabilized, the bleeding has stopped, the hemorrhage is gone, the patient is alive, Nigeria is alive, Nigeria is respected, Nigeria is becoming a great business partner to the rest of the world.
Earlier in his speech, Oba Gandhi Afolabi Oladuni Orumogege III commended President Tinubu for his unwavering commitment towards the Nigerian youth. The monarch praised the president's visionary leadership, particularly his focus on youth empowerment, education reform, and socio-economic inclusion. Oba Gandhi Afolabi expressed optimism that the ongoing initiatives would uplift communities and foster a new generation of skilled, confident, and socially responsible Nigerians.
The ASU strike that used to happen, which was a perennial problem, one way or the other, you've been able to tackle it. We have the student thing. Now, the funding that has been given to indigent students who they would probably not have been able to afford it. Now they have access to these funds. And your commitment towards the youth development in this country, we can see it. And we believe that in 2 years, it's amazing the things that are difficult, the things that were the big gorilla in the room that everybody has ignored. But because of your person and the boldness that you have confronted all of them. And we have come to say that your actions are not going unnoticed. And I believe that the difficult times for Nigerians, we are surely seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Additionally, President Bola Tinubu received King Alfred Dietes Piv, the Amayanabo of Tuombras Kingdom, at the presidential villa in Abuja. Uyi Agmofwegbe reporting for Global TV News.
Many thanks for that report, Uyi Agmofwegbe. Moving on, in line with the federal government initiative on infrastructure development across satellite towns and area councils of the Federal Capital Territory, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has officially flagged off the reconstruction of Kaura in charge of Custom Clinic Junction to ease traffic congestion across the area council. Kabir Hassan completes the reports.
For years, residents and commuters in Karo have endured untold hardship due to the poor state of roads in the area. The road condition not only slowed down economic activities, but also created daily traffic chaos, accidents, and loss of man-hour for thousands who rely on road networks to connect to the city center. The project, tagged Emergency Rehabilitation of Karo Road, is set to serve as a catalyst to the people of Karo and will be completed in a period of 10 months. The Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, says the project is part of President Bola Tinubu's administration commitment to develop satellite towns in terms of infrastructure, urging the people of Karo to exercise patience as the project will be benefit to the residents.
The essence of the New Hope agenda is to bring back hope to the people. And I know that the people of Karo, hope has come back to you. Business environment will thrive here. And we are not just doing this road, they will all have street lights. And I hereby order the contractor to make sure all these other additional roads will also be completed within 10 months.
The minister assured the people of Karo that all other bad roads will be taken care and commend them for their maximum cooperation, adding that he will be visiting to inspect the project while also applauding the contractors handling the project.
I will be coming here very often to inspect this project because it's one of the projects we have lined up that our people must enjoy in the 3rd year anniversary of Mr. President.
The contractors of the project, Abdul Val Limited, assured the minister of quality work and promised to complete before deadline, urging Karo residents for patience and cooperation.
We assure you that Abdul Val will bring the same dedication here in Karo with highly skilled personnel, modern equipment, and years of experience. We deliver a road that meets the highest standard within the approved time frame.
The construction of Karo Town roads is not just an infrastructure upgrade, but also a milestone that promises to ease traffic, boost businesses, and improve daily life for residents. For the people of Karo, the project represents renewed hope and a step forward lasting development in the Federal Capital Territory. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
Thank you so much for that report, Kabir. Moving on, the federal government says plans are underway to privatize and commercialize 91 public enterprise in a bid to reposition critical sector of the economy, attract private investment and ensure efficiency in service delivery. The Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprise, Ayodeji Bemilei, disclosed this at a media briefing in Abuja. Our business correspondent, Kike Lomawokere, has more.
The Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, Ayodeji Bileyi, explained that the privatization process will be handled gradually, sector by sector, to safeguard national interest and deliver maximum benefits to Nigerians. According to him, the assets cut across oil and gas, agriculture, aviation, mine and steel, transportation, ecotourism, as well as agencies under Federal Capital Territory Administration. The Director General further reveals that while 35 of the firm will be fully privatized, 57 others will undergo partial privatization. He emphasized that the reform process will be guided by business case analysis, supported by financial, legal, and technical advisors.
The mandate of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, defining which public enterprises to be either privatized, commercialized, and in commercialization, we also talk about concession. Concession is a form of commercialization. So, of course, when we get to that bit, we will cross it. When we get onto the transaction, we will determine the most optimal transaction.
Ayodeji Bileyi pointed to the transformation of the telecommunications sector as evidence that privatization can unlock economic potential. He also highlighted ongoing reform in the power sector, which he says are creating new jobs, transferring skills to Nigerian youths, and expanding opportunity in the global markets.
To expect, and it's not all transactions that we sell. In Zungeru, for example, the government concessioned the 700 megawatt hydropower plant. It's not so. So it's like hiring an operator to run it for government, and that operator pays an annual concession fee. The same thing was done with Kainji and Jema power plant. The same thing was done with Shiroro power plant. So it's not at all time that we sell government enterprises.
With 91 enterprises lined up for reform, the Bureau of Public Enterprises says its goal is to reposition national assets to drive growth, create jobs, and enhance Nigerians' competitiveness in the global economy. Kike Lomo Ukeri, Global Television News.
Many thanks for the report. President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria has surpassed its 2025 revenue mobilization target ahead of scheduled, ruling out furthering borrowing to fund government operations. The president stated this while receiving members of Buhari organization led by the former Nasarawa State Governor Tanko Almakura at the presidential villa. Kike Lomo Okere reports.
President Bola Tinubu explained that his administration will focus on job creation through increased export, industrial expansion, and mechanization of agriculture. He emphasized that prudent management now anchors the country's economic direction, urging Nigeria to disregard external pressures on the economy.
There's a guarantee there. I know many of you had to suffer the initial abuse and the fear. Where are we going? We know the direction that we should go. We are going up. No, those who may not know will not know. Today I'm standing before you, I can brag that Nigeria is not borrowing, it's dying from local bank. The revenue, we have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August. I've reviewed this morning.
On his part, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, assured President of full support from former members of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change.
To give their last respect and bring the cause back to Katsina, and the number of times that you and the First Lady made both to Katsina and Kaduna to pay your last ride is truly commendable, Your Excellency. We appreciate all that you did. May Almighty God reward you, and you should know that we are together with you today, we will be with you tomorrow, and will be with you forever. Your Excellency, I want to, on behalf of the whole entire former CPC members, inform you and assure you that the CPC families in every state, we have all resolved that we will go back home and create former CPC members for Asuwaju in all our states.
Also speaking, Al-Makura commended President Tinubu for according former late President Muhammadu Buhari full state honor at his burial. The delegation pledged continued support for the administration as it consolidates efforts to stabilize the economy and drive national development. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Princeton on the United Nations says growing restriction in Cameroon surrounding presidential elections scheduled for October are raising fears about whether voters can freely choose their candidates. This is coming as President Paul Biya, the world's oldest head of state at 92 years, seeks a new 7-year term to extend nearly 43 years in power in an election scheduled for October the 12th. Uyi Abomofrebe completes the reports.
United Nations Rights Chief Volker Turk made a case for a safe and enabling human rights environment that is essential for peaceful, inclusive, and credible elections, stating that this is, however, not the case in Cameroon. Spokesman in the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Jeremy Lawrence, cited an incident on August 7 when Jordana Yegba, a former senior member of the opposition African Movement for New Independence and Democracy, was escorted off air by security forces 8 minutes into a live television interview.
Recently, a live television interview with a political figure was interrupted by security forces. These developments come following the suspension of 3 civil society organisations and the banning of 2 others in December last year, and restrictions that were imposed on the operations and funding of some civil society groups.
There have also been concerns regarding the exclusion of some political figures from the race, as well as irregularities in voter registration. The report also cited opposition candidates and their supporters who had been intimidated and threatened.
Ahead of the presidential election in October, growing restrictions on civic and democratic space in Cameroon are raising fears about whether voters can freely express their will. We are today calling on the government of Cameroon to ensure an environment conducive to a free, transparent, inclusive and genuine vote. Several gatherings have been banned amid rising restrictions on the activities of opposition political parties in the lead-up to the vote.
Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights said last month Cameroonian security forces had arrested at least 53 opposition supporters who were accused of public disorder, unlawful assembly, rebellion, and incitement to revolt. Uyi Agbomofwebe reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Uyi, for that report. Moving on, in a bid to tackle hunger, the United States has approved $32.5 million in assistance to Nigeria to help address hunger in areas since in the shift since the United States foreign policy since President Donald Trump suspended most aid through the U.S. Agency for International Development. The U.S. mission in Nigeria, in a statement, says the funding will provide food assistance and nutritional support in conflict-affected areas. The United States will provide food and nutrition to 764,205 beneficiaries across the northeast and northwest of Africa's most populous country. And in sport, the Super Eagles are in a quest and are set to tackle Rwanda in a must-win encounter as a battle for a ticket for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, which will be taking place in Canada, United States of America, and Mexico. Later today in the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be trading tackles with the Rwandans as they battle for securing the tickets ahead of the 2026 World Cup. And then following suit next week, Tuesday, the Super Eagles will still battle South Africa as they fight to secure a final and continental ticket for the World Cup 2026. And this is how much time will permit us to take on this week's edition of the Week in Review, where we bring you top stories of the week. I am Samuel Odi. Until I come your way next time. Bye for now.